Okay, here we go. 1 minute to the open, and we are watching a trade here on AMD. Not much of one because it's actually thrown way too early. We had a couple of signals here, and it looks like we're about to get going on. It's like AMD wants to throw one on the 5-minute chart. Still not prepared for that. 200 Neo 900 Let's adjust in a few things here. The buy-in amounts based on the price. That is Amazon. Yeah, AMD has actually thrown this and has pulled back to here. Now, we can't take anything on the first candle. But it's possible on the second candle you get to pull back, maybe. It's already plunged through the first profit. Not going to be something for me. It's a nice thought, but no. Looking for others. Looks like Meta is just holding out here. We had a few new picks come across the scanner this morning that I'd like to research. Can't wait to research this weekend. For now, man, Neo just dropping straight off without any sort of care in the world. It's not good. You kind of need one of these to give a little push here. Neo showing heavy volume, as well as AMD. AMD is also got some pretty heavy volume this morning. Meta not as much. I mean, it did get a spike here at the morning, which happens obviously. It looks like it was tanking off, and then what we got here at the open is just a bunch of buy up going back up to here, you know, kind of like a squeeze on the stock, and now we're going to get some more falling down, which is pretty much, you know, this has got pull back. It kind of did a little bit more, but kind of did the same thing. It pulled back a little bit, and now we're dropping down again. This one doing the same thing, except for the fact that we got quite a bit of volume going up. But I did half expect the AMD to give us some push here this morning. Neo's got quite a bit of volume, and so does Meta. But if you look at Amazon, Neo and AMD, if you look at Amazon and Meta, they're both volume is way below normal on this downtrend. That's just a consistent sell-off. There's really no buyers. It's just people selling. Not really good for those. But you got a little bit more excessive volume on AMD, which I was hoping for a good push today out of AMD. One direction or the other. Kind of wished it would have let me in first before it did this huge dive. Oh my word, look at Neo is just bought the farm. Man. Hmm. 5 minutes into the open. Everything. I mean, Amazon's the only one throwing any sort of real protest. All these other ones are just gone. And Jade actually lets you know that there's some activity happening on that particular one, even though you can't take that particular trade. This is real intent happening, which, I mean, when I say intent, it's mainly just the fact that the stock has buyers and sellers going on there. You can see that, going through there. There's a lot of buyers and sellers on that one together. And you really need that in order to trade the stock the right way. In order for it to do patterned movement is usually calculated off of buyers and sellers alike. So, AMD is down a little bit low, so I'm thinking this is the one that's going to be our hit today. But I have to just wait and see. Amazon's getting some more buyers, or it's getting another push, but look at that volume, how low that is. And compared to that opening volume in that, you can see this line represents like the standard volume. And that's just not, even with that push, it's barely even made anything out of that. These are just people that made money off of that. It's nothing going on there. Same goes for over here on Meta. A little bit more excess on this one. Now this is the kind of stuff that we need. This is nice big push on AMD, all three, for all of those being above average. And we should get up here and probably, if nothing else, it'll throw a double. It'll probably go way up and then tank off again, possible. But with that kind of push, I mean, look at that. That's what I'm looking for right there. There we go. Now the issue you have here is this is a pullback. Right here, you're going to get, it climbed above this moving average, but you probably get your pullback right here and it tank off. It's not going to go much more. Maybe that moving average line. But there's some excessive volume going that way. But this right here, this stepping volume, this much volume, that means it's found a top right here. So yes, of course, it could go further. That's what we want it to do. There you go. That's our beep. We are waiting. It's not really that great, you know. I wish it's under better circumstances. This would probably be a total loss trade. But it is. Wait for it. It is active. So, the only thing I can do is play my strategy. The strategy says stop loss goes right there. And strategy says that goes right there. So, whether that's true or not, we have no clue. We just play the strategy. Now this right here, I'm going to zoom in here. You know, this is the in trade. This shows in trade that I can take the trade. Now what I did is let it come back a little bit down to here before I got in, but technically could have bought in right up there, so I got a little better entry on that. It always does a pullback, but you can see the stop, it actually held that stopping point right there where Jade said to hold on to it. And now the first thing we needed to do is to come up here and cross the white line. The white line indicates where I can actually pull my stop up and hold it at this line, which is the secondary break-even stop-loss point. So it would have to come up here and cross this white line first before I can do that. So we were waiting to see, but remember I told you this one has, you know, quite a bit of volume going on here. There's a lot of participants. So we might get something out of this. You can see that stepping volume right there again, indicating a pullback. And we are getting that pullback out of that. We just need it to hold it there and not come crashing through and kick us out. Which totally looks like it wants to do. Alright, with a pullback of this kind, it could have been, you know, the first one said it's going down. If you look at the first break-even point, it's right there. This one hit first profit and then it's pulling back. And that's the break-even point for this morning's trade that it's holding. Chances of it kicking us out right here are pretty high, I would say. I don't like being right. I am glad I waited till it come down a little bit before. Here we go, and we're out. Yep. I'm feeling now this is a cross below, and yep. It ain't being right. And this little push-up thing here is technically fake. Once it crosses below this line down here, ain't much else you can do. But you see this as a step, which is showing this has holding some pressure. And this is a pullback. But all this was all faked. It's not terrible. And I'm just going to log, what's that? Log entry for AMD. AMD today's the 18th, and it threw a break even. Basically over here is where I logged my, break-even trade right there. So swap you back over here. And you can see, I mean, it did that pushback. It's so close, and now it's doing the run up. Um, you know, I hate to see that happening. Hate to see it happening. This is the thing about when you work in a strategy. There's certain points where the stock can violate your strategies, and when it does, you hold true to that because of your, because you're working what you're working with. You're either trading a strategy or you're not. And when the stock's doing something different, it's technically violating your strategy, which means you're out, whether or not it's doing it or whether you feel like it's going to or anything. You got to stick with that strategy. See right now, it's bumped up against there, and this is kind of the line. It's not much of a trend line, but it is in a way. So, I kind of put that line there just to kind of give you an indicator of what it's doing. And I know there's a lot of little confusion here going on with this particular stock here. But see, it's come back down and hit that point again. It's doing another push up into there. But and keep in mind, this is the break-even point of this morning, right there, or that was the stop loss for early morning. This is pulled back and held that stop loss right there. So that's a pretty stout line from this morning's trade. We'll see if it can hold it any longer. And see that right there? That broke. That trend is dust. It broke that. But if we play our cards right, this should tip over and start going back down. We might get in on another one going the other direction. That's my analysis. I only say that because of the rejection and the break on this line, plus we got an entry as it was breaking this moving average. So if that's the case and it broke it back down, this little pop-up right here is an attempt to continue that direction, which is just not working. You see it's actually broke that line again. So now when it comes back through here, because of this kind of intention going that way, once it breaks through there, we'll get intention going the other way. Then it's just about how many people are on board with that break going the other way, whether or not that one ends up being good. But you see this morning you got two. This morning it did two of them, 1 and 2, competing ones. So the likelihood of it doing another, we're about to find out. Not getting an entry, that's not good. Definitely broke down. Where's the power at, people? And it's kicking up off that line again. Definitely broke down. Maybe it's going to try to go up again. It did do the breakdown we wanted, or not wanted, but predicted. See again, I'm trying to drag this one over here a little bit. So you can see that. You can see this stepping volume right here. We talk about that all the time. This stepping volume indicates that it found some resistance. So that resistance line is right there. So you're going to get some pullback. So, you know, you would imagine that because it broke through this line. So excessive volume pushed it through this moving average. And now we have a break on that, which you're going to get some pullback, which you can see there wasn't much hold in the pullback. It actually went up and gave way to that. This little symbol right here is an indicator of more up movement than down, which, you know, is probably a thing because you got the step down and then it tried to go back up, and now you're getting the real pullback right here. But it'd be nice Jade would get us in on this trade here, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Look at that, up, down, through. I mean, it can't decide what it's gonna do. But it did come back and touch the VWAP, which that's, if it holds a VWAP, that's a good sign of it going up. This much volume on the beginning there. Pulling back to that. I don't know. All I do know is my strategy called for getting back in here. Called for getting out right there. As you can see, it's dead end all the way to there. That's all I have on that strategy that I'm playing this morning. So can't really do anything else. You can see most of these are the dead end. These are my ones from this morning that I had 2 new bots I'm hoping to work on that actually had a lot of possibilities with these 3 stocks. We'll see what they do. I was going to go over here and look at this 5-minute thing again. And you can see on the 5-minute, the 5-minute one called this huge push right here. And then this one right here, which has come back and kicked us out, but it called one on there. I don't really do the 5-minute entries. It's trying to push up again. I'm just going to go back. Yeah, it's got, I'd say this is more of like a box pattern here. Like a consolidation point. Right now you're getting that breakthrough on that consolidation. Which would make it where something I wanted to get in on. Would have been really nice, obviously. Getting that stepping volume right there, indicating it's finding some resistance. This is exhaustive volume. There. That's a really solid push. Yikes. These lines up here are some lines that I was using as some practice yesterday. See, you get that step, that kind of exhaustive volume. This is probably over with. That might be all it's ever going to do. It took all of this inertia to get it outside of this box. That's a lot from the 2 volumes, 182 all the way up to 632. It's a lot of volume to get it out of there. But see it pulling back, and you'll see whether or not it holds the top of the box. The top of the box is right there. So this is your uptrend into a consolidation point. This is all consolidation here. And now right here at this point, you have the breakout of that box. And when something's going sideways like this, you use, you're watching for it to pick a side, basically. Some of the time is people getting on board, people selling off, getting out. But you see, it's broke back down below that box again. So once again, Jade would need it to go all the way up and hit this line for it to have been a mature trade. Obviously, it could still get to that point with a little bit of pullback. It could. You got your moving average lines beginning to cross to go the other way. That's why you're getting all this resistance too. But I don't know. Just waiting and see. I do wonder if we could build a bot that would allow you to more read the indicators of what was actually happening on this. Basically one that could allow you to do cleaner live reads. So this one right here, you see this trend actually pushing up. You could dig into the indicators of what was actually happening here in the consolidation point, and how this was consolidation. Give stuff more indicators to help you monitor actually what was going on. I've built a few that helped a little bit with that, but Jade is the most promising as far as its completeness and its reading. Man, Amazon just got nothing. Meta's got nothing. Neo's got nothing. Neo does show a sign of it trying to push up a little bit, but this one right here, this is kind of like a triangle pattern that indicates a strong down push. So what you have here is this. You have this going on here, and then you're waiting for it to break and do a huge red. Right now you're about to get where it just chunk way down, and then huge resistance that'll usually come all the way back up to here. But Neo's about to fall so fast. You always see traits. There's so many different things to read. You can always see something going on, but you don't want to get your live readings confused with when you're testing strategy. Does look like look at that. Look at that. Jade tried to throw right there. See, it never, Jade got me out right here. And yeah, it would have been nice if it had hit this line first and got me out at break even instead. But when it calls that weakness, that's pretty powerful. See that riding that bottom line right there? Hopefully you guys can see that. Make sure I pull this up here. You guys get ready for that drop. And this one's about to get... This is about to buy the farm right here. Getting ready. It'd be nice to be in on that one. Here we go. Here we go. Over at the spy. Look at that. Look at it break that. Ugh. Now, this is coming down here and hitting the bottom of the box. So this was like a false breakout. I would have appreciated Jade getting me in on that trade. There's your long red bar. Ouch. You're gonna get another one too. Man, that's rough. And this has got another breakout toward the bottom. Obviously not on its extreme volume. But see, this right here is a cool trade. You just basically capitalize on this bar. Watch for it. You can get out right here, but this little pullback right up to there. And really what you're looking for is at least 2 good hit points. And at least 2 good hit points on the bottom. And if you look at that, we got more than 2 on the bottom. This is on a 1-minute chart. And you just watch that thing as it gets closer and closer to that end. It gets tied up in all these moving average lines. And then there you go. Let's see, this one didn't give me an entry. See, this is more of an up push, which I was telling you, once it does this drop, you're gonna see it come back up here and touch this line again, which is the reason why I usually get out at the bottom of this first big push as soon as it's done, which that's 71, little about 10-cent move right there, but it'll come back all the way up and touch this line, the line that it broke. Retesting that. It allows more people to get in before it goes down again. But I usually get out right here and wait for another resistance of this line before you'd actually get in again. Now some people will just wait that out, but really not. That's not really what I do, and not my cup of tea, I guess. You see, this has basically expanded the box line up there, and we have, I guess, Hasn't really shown us the bottom of the box yet. Maybe right there. That's the bottom, which it's actually broke it. Yet another stepping volume showing it resistance right there, which we knew that. It might actually give us another entry. Very interesting to see. Trying to pull back. Come on, you can hold it. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. See what I mean about this one pulling back up there? Make sure you can see that. That's pulls back up to that line. And to help people get a better entry. This one shows this is the end, which it's trying to go up again. But I think it come back up here. Push it back down. Here we go. Another push. Just trying. We need as much energy as we can because we'd like for it to go the other direction. But remember, the top of the box is a pretty powerful line. So there are some people that buy it right here, which is what this is. Buy it right here and they're going to get rid of it as it comes to the top of this box. They're just working this consolidation line. I see that point, holding here. Once it held there, go ahead and hop in and they'll run it all the way up to the top. And the step things, the steps, you can't really confirm that it's hitting a solid resistance unless it has a good resist point on the next one. So you see this step goes up and you've got a nice resistance on there, which shows this line is pretty solid. Oh, look at Amazon. Here I am talking. 11 seconds. 9, 8. Holding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hop in. Okay. So now we've hopped in on this one. I'm going to go ahead and pull these lines. Now the stop loss line is right there at that checkered line. Boom. Profit line is right up here, giving us about a $200 profit. That works. And we'll just see. So, I mean, we've already seen them test this and crash. So the likelihood of this being another story like that is very likely for this morning. But if Jade says it's got power, I usually take it. Take the wins and the losses. I mean, that's a huge rejection. But all I can do is wait for it. Take the loss when it takes it. You see down there at Neo, come all the way back up there, and it's holding that line again. And this is one of the reasons why I was saying that I just sell right out at there and then wait to see what kind of resistance it gets. Because I've actually had them come down here and then hop back up on this line, which you can see it doing, and ride it a little further, if not go higher. So some of this is just like a crash sell-off. People are actually selling off here because of the pattern, not because the stock price is actually losing value. So patterns can often drive trades. Or let me rephrase that, patterns can drive stock prices in the immediate, especially when you're watching a 1 minute chart. Now it is showing some resistance on this line, which is a little closer than it got to before. Might actually break this line. If it does, We could get a good push up here. Jade might actually react to that line. Here we go. And this one. We're watching for that. Go ahead and bump these lines off of here. It's like Meta's gonna attempt. We did get a throw. Look at Jade throwing that nice buy in. It was nice of him. Go ahead and adjust my lines here. Now Neo has a little bit different kind of angle on it. So when I run Neo, I use this gold line up here instead. Usually close to a $400 profit instead. And that's only because of the study on Neo. Neo has a little bit bigger moves than these other stocks, being a lower price stock. So when it does make a move, it actually goes a little farther. For those of you that know this particular trade, you might be wondering why this might be it. Now that line come up there and hitting that right there, that might be it for this trade. Once it hits that white line, it's just a little bit relative, but I like for it to hit it a little cleaner. But once it hits that white line, I usually move my stop loss up here to the yellow. It's more of a break-even point, which would have actually kicked me out right there, which might have been good. But you know, I like for it to give a little more inertia to the line before I actually move it up like that. You can see we're watching Amazon up here, and it hasn't quite hit that line yet. See? Kick me out. Just no power. And see, this might have been the touch. I probably should just pulled it up there. Save myself the money. So now basically I'm going to go over here on Neo today. I'm just going to click a total loss on Neo. It's no fun. You can see AMD is still trading in this range. The bottom still held at that one, leaving that. This still holding in there. This right here isn't great. This little hold line that it's doing, you know, it's probably not gonna do anything. A little frustrating. This is kind of a similar triangle pattern we've seen earlier, just a little bit smaller. But when you catch losses like this, you always want to tighten up on these others, you know, to try to ease the pain. But you can't do that. Okay, here we go. Meta's gonna, oh man. Meta's gonna try again. Let's see, the SPY hasn't really give us any much pressure, but watch this again on Meta. 22 seconds. Watching that. Now we are getting close to our end time, 9:15. No. 11, 10, 9, 8, 6, 2, 1, bye. Okay. So we did take another meta trade, regardless of its extreme destruction lately. Up here. And about $200 push on that one, hopefully. Get rid of that. Rid of that. You can see I've seen this happen a lot on Neo. It actually does the run, but it violates the stop. There's no way you'd want to put your stop way down there, you know, for that kind of move. It's just not worth it. And sometimes it'll do it, sometimes it won't. Now you have Meta up here throwing that long line push, which is just downright scary. They're throwing that push that easy. It did already do a pre-break over here, which is kind of a good sign. It already got its, kind of broke this moving average line and then come back below before throwing an entry. So that's good. Now that little signal there was a sign that Amazon's placing a bid on the farm, if you know what I mean. Look at that. It's not good. Now if you think about it, this is technically the last trade of this morning, happening right there at 9:14. So we're about to find out whether we're going to make money today or not. These two trades, that's all we got. This one hasn't come up and hit that line yet. It's just going straight sideways. And look at AMD. Look at this nonsense here. This is just tons of consolidation on the 1 minute chart. Not very nice. And then of course Neo trying to come up here and pretend like it's actually going to do something, which it usually does. But see, this was a throw and then it had its kickback before it went up. And this one, we had the kick, you know, it did the same thing. It broke and then come back down, and now it's trying to go up again. This one over here doing the same thing, up, down. All of these have very similar patterns with what they're doing. This holding this line and not just pushing through it. We need it to push through. You know, if it can push through that line, get up there, we could. I mean, technically, with as close as it is, I could tighten the stop a little bit. And I'd really like to tighten the stop on this one, being that it's, you know, a couple of dollars there. Push this one to 50. Just trying to ease my final pocketbook this morning. Now it's actually hit that line. See, it went through it. Now going through it means this one can come up here. I'm going to be a little bit lenient this morning. Just below that. Just because of how hard everything had to work to move. Which, you know, maybe I should be tighter on those days. This right here, see it holding that? It's just not nice. Just isn't. Look at that. I'm serious about this. Got a lot of green push right there. That's really nice for the push. And to push that price up. And there you go, Neo showing out like this one getting so close to where I could pull a break even. Still down so much money. This one isn't gonna do anything. Just holding that line. That. Does nobody want to make money today? Is that the way this is? See? Yeah, this one again, throwing a nice two-step right there. See that volume right there? Two-step showing once again, confirming the top of the box. People trade it from there, bought it, wait until it get all the way to the top of the box. Some people sold out right here. This was pretty close to the top of the box. And now you're waiting. The reason you're seeing red, this was more push. Might actually get a break up. Oh, look at that. Actually got a push. Oh my word. We might actually make some money today. Wouldn't that be new and fun? I'll go ahead and tighten this up now. And so you can tell I got a little bit better buy-in on this one. It's technically the same percentage. So you can see I got a little better buy-in. This one over here. The better buy-in, you can see that line right there. Maybe you can see that. That is a little bit higher. Almost should have waited and let that red pull back. Got me in a little tighter. Stop wouldn't have been so much. But right now we are right at break-even point for the day. But don't go any further. You're gonna actually be in the hole. Another push, another ginormous pullback. I'm more apt to like this push, you know, because it's being so consistent versus this one. But look at that, good grief. Oh, Amazon, play fair. Look at it coming back down to break it again. This one breaking back through the line. It's bouncing off that moving average line, and these lines have all crossed. You know, there's no reason for the stock to actually go down. But this one's done the same thing. No reason for it to go down, but every chance that it might. And look here, this one has broke out of the box successfully. It's trying to hold another break, but it is struggling. Take a look at the SPY again, being it's rough. Look at that holding. This holding right here, man. It's just fixing to break through either one way or the other. We're going to get something. I like the fact that, the volume going the wrong way is actually dwindling, because this volume going the right way is higher, and then a lot less going back the other way. This one, same thing, lower volume going the wrong direction. So we just have to wait and see. So, oh man, look at that. Ugh. There we go. Now all of a sudden we're losing money. Mm. And you just never know what line. See, it breaks through this one, tries to hold this one, and make it come all the way back down here. You see, this is the VWAP kind of tangled up with this moving average line. It's right about where Jade's like, hey, put your break even stop right there. This could break through and touch that line before it goes up. You just don't know. It's the reason why you follow the rules. What's happening? See, you couldn't actually set your break even right here yet because it hadn't crossed that line yet. Once it crossed that line, now you can pull it up. Otherwise, this would have kicked you out way sooner. Kind of moving that percentage point up. Now that it's gone up here, we actually need it to make some new highs before we can pull up the stop into, actually the green. Right now, I mean, this was up to $70. It would have been nice to take that. But it's just like with any good strategy. You're either running the strategy or you're playing profit or your emotions or whatever it is. See, this is what I was talking about. Now it's broke the other line, which is going to push us dangerously close to that one. But that's right where the VWAP is. They're both side by side. And I've got my, make sure that my stop is right at it. What was that? AMD? AMD trying to go short? Sure it is. See it bouncing off that line? This could be a huge pullback, bounce off that line, and it goes straight up. It can also come down here and crash, which is very strong possibility given all the down stuff we've seen today. But let Jade worry about that. And stock trading is about playing percentages. So the percentages of this going down, sure they go down. Sometimes you take more of a hit than others, but you have to play the percentage points on its moves in one direction or the other, it's going to come back up. Now it has to work its way back through these two lines again if it's going to go up, which, puts a lot of pressure on it going down. But it's about which one is stronger, these two lines or this one line. Having done all this work to get above the line, let's hope that the other way is more prominent. See, there's another one of those symbols. Kind of gives you a little bit of indication to go up. Should make you a little bit hopeful. The other thing is happening is you see the distance between these two lines has gotten a little bit better. That's a good sign. Looks like Meta's going to try again to reach that point. Ugh. Man, look at that. Struggle is real. It's all that red. Man, it's going to kick me out. Oh, man, it's so close. Do I have to watch this? Look at that one showing a kick on that, but then a push. That's, see, there's that symbol again showing upwards motion. But this one over here, oh, here we go. Oh, man. Man, Amazon. That's it. Shop in Walmart from now on. Really needed that one to go the right way this morning. Yep. And now, Meta being the last one here. Go ahead and make it full screen. It's the last one. It's the finish line right up there. Yeah, I know. That's the pull up here. The problem being, you want to pull that up there, protect you from losing any more today. Can't afford any more losses. I mean, I don't know. Look at that. It shows all the signs, but does it have the energy to get across that line? I just don't know. That's your push up, but each one of these looks even worse. Now the danger in this is unless I get the full move, the strategy is null and void. So like right now, we're in danger of being in a consolidation box. See, this is a nice breakup right there. But we don't get that push we're getting. And this only be about halfway. issue with playing the strategy today as being the fact that the loss has already happened. So you're staring in the face of, a loss today of $165, and the idea that this one could give you $100 back of that money. So you're staring at that being like, hey, should I take the $100 at this point? And, taking it means the other ones, well, I mean, obviously you can see it any way you want, but if you take the profit now, it means the losses were of none effect because you took the losses waiting on the full move. If you don't get the full move out of any of them and you're always taking profit too early, you really can't use the strategy, because without the full move, the risk on the other ones, the percentages aren't going to weigh out. No. It is the difficulty of, stock trading. Obviously we want to protect some of this. And if you look at it, I'm kind of doing almost a 50%. So I kind of waited for it to push past this point up here before moving up. So, I mean, this is saying that it could actually do a pull all the way back to here, which would be devastating, obviously. But this isn't asking too much. It said 174.04. You do get some pullback at the $0.50. But we'll see what happens. That huge red push is not good. Oh, man. Well, I'm going to stop the recording for now. You guys can wait. Here we go. Hey, this allows me to get another push out of this. Make a little bit more money. This is about securing profit here on that. You don't want to take too much and mess up the run. You want to stay about that distance, or so, about 50% of the move, or 50-cent move. You want to stay behind it. Now, this being another strong push, man, does that not make you want to get out or what? This stout. Lot of selling right there. But it hasn't made it yet. Hasn't made it. Come on now. Here we go again. Pushing again. Now, a lot of times, that's the thing about some of these strategies. You see all these different types of candles. every kind of different one you could imagine. And the stock basically defying each one of those. And just reading chart patterns or just reading candles isn't usually enough to actually support a good strategy, you know. Um, or is it enough to be a good strategy? Here we go. Another push here. Dragging tighter. Oh man, how rude was that? Come on. That's right at it, 183. Come on, come on, come on. Push, push. Come on, you know you want to. You want to. You do. There we go. Boom. Yes. Very nice. Okay. And that concludes today's trading session. And puts us at a profit of $32 for today. Not great, but what I'm going to do, transition over here to Meta. We were watching Meta. And we're on the 18th. And Meta threw one full profit right there. Very nice. Okay, and that's it for today.